the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of Double X.
Positive Power 21.org. Internet radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I don't live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
That's right, you tell him, little buddy. You tell him, little buddy. You're listening to Late Night. Late Night with Jerry Royce Live Worldwide, a.k.a. the Batman of Charm City, and the beautiful Kelly Holland. Right here in Baltimore, Randallstown, and Windsor Mill. What's going on, everybody? We hope you all had a great week. That's right, we'll be moving into midnight in about 2 hours. That's right here on the East Coast. We want to thank our Power Lift podcasters, Reverend Red and Lady Crystal. We just had a phenomenal show with one of our Monday night podcasters. That's right, Miss Pastor Paulette Harper. If you guys ever have an opportunity to listen to Pastor Harper's 18-minute revolution, man, it is transforming. It really give you a chance to really start listening to that little inner voice inside your head. That's right. You hear a lot of people talking about inner voice. And Batman was on Clubhouse today, and I was with two phenomenal clubs today. And shout out to Jennifer Jagel out there in Canada. That's right. She's promoting, she's promoting her boot camp. She got a brand new boot camp. It's promoting how to get on OutSchool. If you're one of those kind of people, you got teaching ability, you want to share some of those skill sets that God has blessed you with, because that's what we do. We're supposed to take our gifts to be able to have streams of income, to survive. Right? You can't rely on just that one job, because you may either get tired of it or they may be tired of you, and then somebody got to go. But meanwhile, you got to keep the money moving. That's right, because money is energy. That's right, it's energy, and you got to talk to it sometime. You got to be nice to money. I was just telling a friend of mine, I think money is a female, because if you treat her wrong, she will not come back. That's right, slam that door right in your face. And anyway, and another great club, I can't remember all the people, but they was talking about Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. The Black Choice by Dennis Kimber. That was one of the first books I really read back to back that wasn't a school lesson. Yeah, you know how they make you read. And I really enjoyed the book. I actually read it 3 times. And then that lets me on my journey to, that's how I found out about Black Enterprise magazine, owned by the former Earl G. Graves. He passed on during COVID, matter of fact. But I think he had a long-term illness anyway. But his son, Earl Graves Jr. has taken over the company, and I followed them on Periscope for a while. I don't know where they are right now. I'm not even sure if it's still a hard copy, but sometimes you'll find them on YouTube. But anyway, they had inspired me, and then Kathy Hughes came along, and I met some of her radio people, and I had an interest in radio. But during the time, my brother and I was publishing a magazine, and that room today just brought on some fond memories. I had a chance to share my journey with them, how I was able to move into network, I guess you call it network broadcasting or podcasting and TV, internet streaming. That's how it all got started. What I read, testimonies. They had an article in Black Enterprise called "Making It." And I just couldn't get enough of that article. It was maybe been a paragraph or two. Maybe they did 2 stories on 2 black couples or franchisee, and they used to do this list called the BE 100, like the companies that I think they made like so many millions of dollars, made this big list called the BE 100, and it was a phenomenal magazine. And I actually met Earl Graves, and I bought a copy of my magazine just to show him that he influenced me to start that community. And that was actually a school project when I was in community college. I was studying graphic design and TV production, and I had like 4 majors. But anyway, electronic technology. And so anyway, he influenced me, and then my parents wanted to invest in. They want to sow a seed in, and that's what led me to where I am today, because that's where I got all my skill set was from that community college, which led me into a 4-year program, corporate communication, where we learn how to build businesses and do all the stuff that we're doing right now, the internet. All right, well, let's let Kelly Holland out the queue, see what she's doing in her world. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know, apologies. Our guest had to postpone this show because she had a family emergency. They living in New York, man. It's a lot going on in New York right now. So we'll try to get her back on the show. So our prayers go out to Miss Alexia and her family. We call Alexia Z. That's right. And you guys probably caught her on the testimony with Paula Breon a few weeks ago, and she had a beautiful testimony. And she's multi-talented. She writes poetry, spoken word. She sings. She acts. Phenomenal woman. We was hoping to get her as a podcaster, but couldn't get the schedule in between her and the baby. The baby wasn't going to cooperate with the late hours. All right, well, let's talk to Kelly Holland. It's just her and I tonight. What's up, Kelly Holland? What's in your world? What's going on?
Hey, Baltimore. Hey, Batman. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, you sounding loud and clear. Was it a good day for you today? Was the day a good day?
It was a good day for me. The Lord cooled the weather off just a tad.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it. Until my AC is back up and running, I'm appreciative of
Man, that happened to me before twice, Kelly. You know how April you get like that early summer?
Right, man.
And my wife was like, crank up the air conditioner. It's hot in here. Man, I went to turn the thing on. Nothing was coming out.
Womp, womp. Exactly. So when they came out the first time, they told me that because I was running it anyway. Like, okay, well, you ain't coming out now, but you may come out later.
You was running that compressor, huh? Running that compressor.
So there you go. I overheated my compressor.
And I learned so much about those systems. I said, man, I wish I went to school for that. I could have went to school for HVAC. I was there for 4 years.
I'm just saying, make it a side hustle, Batman. I think you're doing your calling right now.
Yeah, I'm doing my calling.
Amen.
But I always had a fascination with see, the thing is, when I went to Poly for engineering, they kind of give you a little bit of everything, the civil engineering, which is like outside, building the foundation of the building, measuring the territory, the air,
the basics, right?
Basic.
And if you excel, then you go on to higher detail level.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the basics. That was a hard class surveying. You actually got to tell them exactly how much this is from this point to that point to that point. That was hard, and not too many people was good at that. Yeah,
careers.
Right.
Man,
I actually had a little job in that. Yeah, I actually had a job, but I didn't like the cold weather, so I knew that wasn't for me. So anyway, because somebody got to read the blueprints out there in the freezing weather. They build year round. So anyway, I really did have a fond for mechanical drawing, which was really, for me, it was architectural drawing. So I did have a love for wanting to study electronic technology. But then when I started stumbling into radio and, that whole thing, not the the behind the mic part, but behind the scene, the engineering part of it. My dad was like, nah, you got to stay in Baltimore. Because I was trying to go to D.C. for this program, I think it was called Capital Institute of Technology. I think they taught everything,
very specific.
Yeah, broadcasting. So that wasn't going to happen. So anyway, I always wanted to get into electrical engineering at one point. And even now, what I did learn in electronic technology had helped me be able to do a lot of things around the house. Because I told you I built a home theater here in the home,
I mean, when you say you built the home theater, I'm thinking you hung a TV on a wall, bought a couch.
You did all that. Yeah, you gotta design the room.
Set up your surround.
Right. All that. You gotta design the room, because if you don't do it right, you be like, wait a minute, I can't get the theater seats in here. There's not enough room for 6 seats. You thinking you can get the whole family in there, and there's only enough room for 2 seats.
You did some algebra for them.
Yeah,
seats, huh?
you gotta measure. You gotta get the color right.
What I need this for?
You gotta have room darkening, and remember, some of our houses are the sun is up pretty heavy, pretty hard in the evenings. So you gotta have room darkening shades. all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely about that.
Yeah, nice
I'm
fluffy
fortunate
carpet.
enough that my room is in the back, so we start the mornings on my side, and it don't stay here long.
Yeah, it
And
moves
it spends
quick.
the majority of the time in the front of my
Yep,
house. And I
that's
feel
us.
for my son.
Yep.
His daggone bedroom
Be
is
heated.
ablaze.
I
It's
know.
tropical in there, man. It's
My daughter too. She on the corner too. It's like I don't care. We got 2 fans, a ceiling fan and a floor fan. Still don't be helping her much.
Nope.
But it's because she's on the corner, and that's when the sun sits the longest. You know?
Exactly. He's enduring the same thing. But you know what, people? Take advantage of that preseason $79 special, the AC check. Had I done it, I wouldn't be in this position.
That's right.
So little preventive maintenance.
Well, fortunately for us, we did end up investing in a new air conditioning system, and then we bought a new furnace. So we should be good for another 10, 15 years of the maintenance guy. That's right. Paid off.
Right.
Water heater too. I did all that during COVID. For the water heater. It's funny, but it's funny about being a homeowner. A lot of people don't realize once your house turned 20 years old, it's a whole lot of stuff got to be replaced.
Yeah, it's 20-year-old structure.
But you never think about that. Well, you never think about that when you live in your parents' house. And when we grew up in a row house in the city, I've done inspection. I used to do home inspection. I remember those doggone building inspectors used to come in there with me, and we would, because we gonna point out some things that because I was working for the city, and I was a lead inspector, and the other guys were more like structural people and all this stuff, So we were walking these people's houses, and they would say, "Oh, they don't need a new furnace. Them bad boys last forever." So I kept thinking, furnace lasts forever. But they were just talking about that particular furnace that was in those row houses. They was, the slaves put them in there.
Oh my!
So they was built forever.
About that big giant tank in the basement.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he heats up the house. He heats up everybody's house.
Sideways.
Yeah, one can heat up the whole row. The whole row.
I bet.
Yeah. So for some reason, I thought they were talking about all home furniture, because I remember we lived in a row house, and I remember you could see flames coming out that bad it.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it used to get so hot.
But not the flame.
Man, it was so hot in that basement. My dad actually had to put up a petition. He built a drywall, and he said, "Okay, this is gonna be y'all space." On the dog. And I remember it was able to block all that heat because we couldn't play back there. It was just too hot. Mom trying to heat the rest of the house.
Right.
It was too hot to be in there. You had to take your shirt off. It was crazy. So anyway, I just got in the back of my mind that I thought furnaces last the lifespan of a house. That's why.
Until you found out.
Yeah, until my guy came and said, "Yeah, we may have to evacuate. I think carbon monoxide may be released."
Oh,
you got a crack. You got a crack in there.
Anybody trying to die?
Yeah, my handyman came through. He hooked up his little. They hook up their little instruments, and he said, "You got a crack in here, man. We got to measure for our." I said, "Well, I got a carbon monoxide thing that didn't go off, so he knew, right. So we was cool, right? I was ready for that, but he said, he wasn't able to fix it, so he got to get a new one. So man.
Oh, because you can't fix it. I need a new one, buddy.
But no, he wasn't the only person. I mean, he's straight up though. He's working on. He actually used to work for an apartment. He was a maintenance man for an apartment complex, and they seen it all. They can't fix it. If they can't fix it, nobody can fix it. So
and it's so messed up that how people treat rented property.
Yeah, I know, and they still want them guys. No matter what, them kids, they be stuffing toys down the toilet. He still got to get that thing back up to speed, right?
Oh my God!
You got to bring life back to the toilet.
And had a woman call me out to her house in the heat, telling me that she has no access to the toilet. Ooh. Once we finally went through the rigmarole, determined that we gonna have to pull this toilet up off the foundation.
Oh man,
there's nothing else is working. I done had snakes. I done had the county. I done had all type of chemicals and whatnot. And it would be a temporary fix, and then it will always come back within the week. Wow. I pull that toilet up. It's a whole dang going toothbrush Batman caught up in the little snake part.
Oh.
And then this heifer going to tell me, well, they're just kids. I can't. Nah, B, you won't pay for this. This ain't no normal way.
Man, I know.
You won't pay for this.
What is it that kids like dropping? My son does that too. He let this toothbrush drops down in the drain because for some reason he pulled the stopper out Can't get that back in. And he used to have like toothpaste tops. So we'd never buy him toothpaste that the top screw off. It's like, if I got to open it up to see what kind in there, I would do it. Because I had plunged out a lot of that.
Up my house,
yeah, man, I plunged out a lot of toothpaste tops. Here they're saying, damn, my sink was stopped up. I wonder why.
Oh my gosh, one of those.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm still in the middle of renovating their bathroom too. I just gotta have my plumber come in and add their fixtures because we surprised them when they came home and I told you repainted the bathroom and added some nice.
Surprised.
Yeah, they were happy.
Now look, I just ran down an Amazon shopping cart for my son, and you over here painting and stuff. You making me look bad, man.
Hey, that's what men do.
He has an accent wall.
That's what
I don't know what else to do.
That's what men do. We do. And my daughter was so happy when she bought it. But my son saw it first. He was so happy. So I said I wasn't quite done because time just caught up with me so fast, And
He's just one person.
Yeah, I couldn't get the. I had picked out. Yeah, I picked out what they, what's going to look good in there. I put up a nice shelf system for my daughter. Put her little makeup and stuff on. 'Cause, the sink can't handle all of y'all stuff.
No, it cannot.
Not even a double
sink.
sink.
You to put me eyelash shelf up, please, because my bathroom can't take it.
Yeah,
hair product. Matter of fact, I need me a whole bookshelf.
You need a bookshelf.
Right. Whole bookshelf over the toilet.
My wife was like, I think we should take the jacuzzi tub out. We don't need that, and I could put in another closet. Like,
I know that's right.
Like you got a room on the other side.
Like cleaning that big old. That tub is huge. Don't nobody want to clean that all the time.
She said, let's just get rid of that. And look, the guy because she wanted to renovate the bathroom. She said the guy came in and said, oh, you can get a bigger tub. She said, really? I said, no. She talking about a closet. Then she gonna change her mind and say want a closet. No.
Of course.
Yeah. I said no. Well, I don't even really want to hear the closet stuff because she had a chance to have a new closet and she turned it down.
We about to do this on the radio.
Yeah,
you gonna give her that closet. That woman don't ask for much.
She want a
closet.
Give her
a closet. She earned that.
Well, I guess because how your family start, evolving, from kids where you can use their closet, and now that they got real clothes, adult clothes, you can't put your adult clothes in their adult clothes closet.
I know, right? You used to put your stuff in the back of their closet.
So man, she had like half of that closet, both of that closet. And I said, well, honey, we can get a shelf, but no, I'm okay now. Now the kids are back. They want their closets.
So
right now, that stuff is sitting in suitcases. Yeah, they're sitting in suitcases right now.
Sound fine to me.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, fine.
Buy your own dresser. You old enough. You making your own money. Buy yourself.
Yeah. Well, Kelly, I got a little topic I wanted to bring up, and this.
Okay. I thought we was just rolling with it.
Yeah,
buddy.
We rolling. Yeah, we hit different topics, and people say they enjoy the 10 minutes you and I have on the show. So I said, hey,
okay, what they want us to talk about?
Well, I'm gonna just base some things off of what I heard today on Clubhouse. All right, we're gonna talk about thinking.
They telling me to hop on. I'm like, I don't know.
Think and Grow Rich: The Black Choice by Dennis Kimbro. Have you ever read that book?
I have not.
You got to get it.
That it's beneficial.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's the Napoleon Hill. It's the black book of what Napoleon Hill had done. So the deal is, he basically what he did was he went out there and interviewed and got testimonies from some of the richest and successful black people on the planet during that time.
That was happy to share their road to success.
Right. Exactly. So basically, it was to encourage you and motivate you, make you think you can do. And they shared their secrets.
Most successful people will share their secrets.
You
just got to get to a point where you can conduct the conversation.
Yeah, they already made it now, right? Yeah,
they already made it, and they'll tell you the failures to help you go around that stuff.
Yeah, if you get lunch with them, lunch date, or get them to mentor, and it could be anybody. It could be people who reach the executive levels of on the job. You may want to ask them, can you shadow them a day, or just go to lunch with them? Spend some time with them so you can get the real feel of
being a boss.
Right. Well, or is it the place for you? Because they're going to share some things and say, hey, sometimes it's going to be integrity issues,
Well, you can't bring everybody in to shadow you.
Yeah,
but, looking good in that direction will be fine.
That's right. So basically, they share some things with you that you may want to think about before you start, setting your goals to go that high up. You may be all right where you are. Maybe safe where you are right now. But anyway, so what I want to ask you,
really
Kelly, I know you've been in business for a while. What influenced you to go into business for yourself? Start a business.
My circumstances forced me into this trick bag, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was doing a lot of counseling prior to getting back into the corporate world. Counseling allowed me to have more freedom with my schedule for my children, but it wasn't paying much at all. So I started my foundation, but it was still at the ground level, it was grassroots. And I just prayed and prayed and prayed. If I got this corporate job, then I could stop doing 5 things to bring in money and just do one thing. So I thought I was consolidating my means with my money, but I hated it working back in corporate. It changed the happy person and joyful person that I was back into this insecure, overly busy for nothing type of person. They just draining me at this job. And then I don't even get a chance to spend time with the children no more. And so there came a time where life shifted. And
hold up, before you move on to that,
okay.
So you don't have to name the company, but what were you doing in the corporate America?
Credit, worked in risk management for credit and things like that.
All right.
One of the top 5 banks in the world.
So what's the job description for that position for those that don't know what that is?
First we started off with loan origination, personal and real estate loans. Then we moved into loan modifications. So then we started to adjust the terms. And things of that nature. And so anything that was considered a risk, we would adjust the terms so that it would be favorable for the company as well as the customer.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We got to recook the books. So, and so with that in mind, I hated it. And so life took a turn and it allowed me to have freedom from that job. Wink, wink, I got fired. So when that occurred, it's the language, Batman. You got to fix the language, right? So I got fired. And I thought that I had no wherewithal to continue. But that's when I dug deep into my spirit, pulled out every single bit of talent the Lord possessed in me, and I promoted myself to bring in money. And then eventually I was able to stumble upon businesses that I could work from home. And then life kind of carried on, and the good Lord showed me that what I thought I needed to make it was absolutely unnecessary, and that I can still spend my time with my children if I just trust and lean on Him to provide me the income. And so now I make more money than I ever made, and I'm so grateful for that. And I thought it would take so much more.
Right.
But God showed me differently. So
sometimes you got to go through those little journeys to get where you are. It's just part of the life.
That's the quick and easy. What about you, Batman? How'd you become such a media mogul?
Well,
can you share?
Well, just like I said earlier, I was influenced by, but actually it was weird. What happened was, growing up in the 60s and the 70s in Baltimore, I'm gonna say mostly 70s. That's when I started to become more conscious of what was going on. I like, my wife. We always say we people watcher. We like to observe what people are wearing, what they doing. Just it's like watching TV sometimes. You remember sitting down in the harbor, you sit there and you just people watch. Yeah, we love it.
We go down Fells.
Yeah,
that's a good time.
Oh yeah, my daughter and I just did it when she came home. So the deal is, I was watching my neighborhood very closely. Because mostly it was working families. I knew what everybody's father did. And I was mostly interested in the fathers because I knew one day I was going to be a father. That's basically what, my mom and dad was grooming to be a father one day. Plus I had so many girlfriends, it was bound to happen. so
that man trying to tell you he still got that player card.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. So I was playing with fire.
Yeah, absolutely. You still playing with it, apparently.
Playing with fire. So ain't no babies coming from this way. But anyway,
I know that's right.
So the deal was, I saw with these guys. It was no black males that was in our neighborhood was in business for themselves, but one guy, and that was the dentist. And he worked. He had an office built underneath his home, and his patients came in because he had a driveway and everything. So he was really cool. His name was Dr. Bird. Everybody from that Ashburton know Dr. Bird. That was their dentist. I remember he did my first tooth emergency.
That's
ran him
right.
2 doors down. So he was really the only entrepreneur. And then when my dad and his buddy got together with their GI Bill, and they decided they was going to start an electronic business when VCRs and stuff started coming out. Right? You remember when VCRs came out, and they was like, right, and everybody they were always broke, and tape was getting hung up in them, so they was making a fortune fixing people's VCRs. Yeah, but I knew I didn't really want to do that. I was doing it at home. It's like it was something I wanted to do for money. So
Exactly.
so he wanted that to be like they was gonna get a shop, and it was gonna just father and son thing. But it's apparently him and his buddy used to like watching sports all day and fix VCRs. But they both had regular jobs though, because his buddy was actually an elevator repairman for the federal government. Okay,
There we go.
and then my dad was working for a printing company. He was a supervisor for a printing company, a big publisher. They had their own printing presses that published books for universities and stuff. So it was a Fortune 500 company in Baltimore. Matter of fact, it was huge.
I know that's
Yeah.
right.
So anyway, so it never came to him opening up that shop. That never happened, even though he sent me to electronic school for that. And so when I didn't see that happening, I was dug in a year and a half deep. I switched my major to graphic design because that's when the Macs and the PCs was coming around, and I love computers and I love art. So anyway, but what really did it for me was because I was kind of counting on my dad having the business, but it never happened. But I mean, for us as a shop. But my friends and I, when mobile DJing came, when the DJ, the 2 turntables and Run DMC and Curtis Blow and them came, that created, that hip hop industry created a lot. People don't realize how that hip hop culture made so many millionaires, put so much food on the table in the hood. Being a DJ was a really fulfilling job back then, because you could have it without paying taxes to Uncle Sam. Remember, you can be a DJ at 15. Yeah, you didn't have to fill out no paperwork. Hey, you got records and 2 turntables and speakers, come do my party. So the deal was, man, my friends, we practice and we learn our craft. We put the group together, it was 3 of us. We called the group Universal Sound Production. That was the name of our group. Yep, Universal Sound Production.
Diversity.
Yep, Universal. Yep, Universal Sound Production. I remember we put that company together in my buddy's kitchen, and he just passed too, man. He just passed
I'm sorry to hear
a few about I guess 2 or 3 weeks before Good Friday. One of my best friends went to engineering school together. We traveled, worked together. We did everything. I had my girlfriend was his girlfriend's sister. And we used his sister to bring in college girls. They were good guys. Good guy. Him and his brother. So anyway, we that business was really went well. Here we are. I think we 16, 17, making $125 an hour as DJs, and we worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We did the Capitol House on Fridays. We party for the any fraternity on Morgan would hire us, and then we would do stuff on Sundays for weddings or whatever. They came on Sundays. So we was actually literally making $125 an hour. You know, when we was
That's
doing
big
these,
money.
yeah, and then we would do, and then one of our friends, he would do parties almost every month. He would run our community centers, you know. So we was making money, man. We was charging $400 to $500 back then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then our group got so big that we had so many gigs that we had to start splitting the group. So we had to get more equipment, and we had brought on some other DJs. So we was learning all that. We was collaborating.
Right.
Yeah, we was collaborating with other fine DJ, because I really wasn't really much of a mix. I didn't really have an ear for music like that, like the other guys did, because they would spend hours practicing. I would be practicing dancing, practicing my moves, you know, and what I was going to wear. But I was more so the guy that kept the equipment up and running. Like if we ran late or we had to, you know, get set. I can get the equipment set up and get the sound set up quickly while the guys was, you know, getting the records in order and signing contracts. I would have the sound up and running, and like, especially we did pool party, but then we learned the hard way that you can't bounce this music off of a swimming pool. It's just not going to work. So it was things like that.
Didn't come out
Yeah,
well.
yeah, be all over the place. Couldn't hear it. So anyway, so that was like my world of, you know, getting into engineering and everything. So that was our first very successful business. And I remember too, his sister had a boyfriend, I think, that got involved with multi-level marketing. You remember Fuller Brush? It was a company, one of the first multi-level marketing business was a company called Fuller Brush. They sold a hairbrush that was made out of boar bristles, and they had other stuff too. And but you can bring people in a cell up under you and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I wasn't even interested in the product. I just was interested in the blueprint. You know, I was like, wow. You know, it was like a pyramid thing.
I'm definitely thinking Amway right now.
Yeah, right. It was like the beginning of Amway, right? And the Amway was coming around, but people was, you know, you had your Avon and Mary Kay was coming along. I mean, these companies were bringing extra income into households where the wife couldn't work because they had the kids, you know. And then my mom, she actually did a little bit of babysitting too while she was home, and, you know, like the relatives. And she was able to bring income in that way. So, but remember, people was making things work. You know, we was cutting grass, shoveling snow. So we saw entrepreneurship at a very, very young age. You know, and the thing that's shame about it is, it took COVID for people in the middle class. I say middle class to upper middle class realize that when you retire, that paycheck don't look the same.
That's it,
Especially if you one of those people that's riding around in a mid-sized Mercedes Benz and you live in a pretty nice neighborhood with your, you know, property values in the, you know, your upper 400. That retirement check is not going to carry you. You know, and just think about this too. Our parents, once they bought their first home, it was a good chance that after they left that apartment and moved to their first home, they retired in that first home. A lot of us been moving from state to state, you know,
living our best life.
Right, not even holding on to that piece of property. They sell it so they can get the money to move into the next bigger house, you know. And then that just means now you're pushing your financing a little longer. And that's, but it's not going to add up by the time you turn 62. Put it that way. But you know what? It's not
to that age group's fault, but
it's not.
401ks and IRAs and Roth IRAs and, you know, money markets and things of the nature weren't. They weren't taught. They weren't given the free classes that they do now. They weren't pushed.
But just think too, though, for those of us that did jump into it, a lot of that money went into the kids' education, because who would have known that the education? I mean, I went to college. I think it was like $5,000 for the whole year.
Oh, praise the Lord!
Right, and then I think even when my oldest son went, I think we paid it was $8,000 for the whole year or semester, something like that. But then, because he was there for some years because he studied engineering, and then he decided to switch to communication. A lot of those credits didn't transfer.
That's what I tell everybody: get your AA degree. No school can take off any of your
Right.
credits as long as you get that 2-year degree. If you don't, baby,
Yeah.
they will
But see, the only
cross out
thing
your
is, for
money and your effort.
right. But see, for the people who go into those big majors like that, like engineering, you can't really go to community college. You have to,
Really? He couldn't do his general education requirements?
No, you got to go because when you go into engineering, it's like certain curriculums that you have to take care of those prerequisites before they even start. Because they want to make sure you're able to handle the math.
Exactly.
Especially if you're going to computer science. Yeah.
Listen, I would have milked all that up.
Yeah, man, they hit
AA
but it was good because he was able to use a lot of his engineering to what he does now, because he actually works for an engineering firm as the audio visual project manager. So it's a lot that you got to know when you go into a room and you purchasing equipment and for all these different things. And it's funny how that happens for some of, we end up having a major that we change our mind about because we have more interest in another one, but then you end up getting a job where some of that influenced them to make a decision to hire you because of your education, the early education. So, you just never know how God works. And he was in your inner ear and he told you to switch the major. So you had to do it. Because you lost it. Yeah, you had to do it.
Oh, I can definitely agree with you. I wanted to go to school for hospitality management, thinking one day I would own a hotel. One internship later, I changed into business.
The people wore you out, didn't they?
Oh my God.
You be tired.
I couldn't do it.
You have a room at the hotel.
Internship.
Yeah, you be so tired.
Wearing this. No, they ain't give me no room. I had to catch the bus down there because somebody's mother, mine, did not want me driving downtown. I'm like, woman, I'm already on the east side. Why I can't drive downtown? So she got me taking the bus. It's hot as all you know what. I got on long sleeve white jacket, long black pants, skid free black shoes. I was a burning daggone candlestick or whatever. I was burning up. She didn't care.
So you changed that major quick, huh?
I couldn't do it. I said, just put me over the business. I can own anything, not just hotels.
Yeah, that's right. No,
Get me out of here.
I mean, even though B&B's is big business now, at least you may know a little something that you can do a B&B business if you wanted to.
I wish I wouldn't. That's when the B&B's is when the most people run them out of their big old post-slavery houses or whatever.
Yeah, you got a big farmhouse that can sleep 15 people. That's when you make that money. Yeah, that's when you make the money. But
they're gonna get me.
So basically, when it comes to entrepreneurship now, and this talking about when we just talking about the situation, how the world has shifted so much. I mean, especially now with inflation, gas is. I think I paid almost $4.99 a day at the pump. And food's going up, and then you can't even find what you want half the time. So just think about it.
Food does it, but you know what? Sometimes it's like entrepreneurship is so secondary when you're watching the news and the government is telling you classified is on its way, and the police are getting special training for classified, and the army is getting special training for classified, and you just start thinking like the CDC did say the zombies was coming, and so now I just think that everybody that got a COVID shot is going to turn into some ugly zombie, and I'm going to have to pack up on bullets. So I ain't
gonna help you. Well, I'm probably gonna be the zombie because I got my shot today.
I know why they do that to Batman.
I know, but that's the only way we get in.
Kelly told me.
The only way we get into these buildings. So anyway, Kelly, basically with the baby, a lot of baby boomers now are walking off the job. They're taking early outs. They're retiring at 60 and 59 and 60, 61, and a lot of them don't, right, and some of them looking at that saying, oh, I need a little bit more time. I was just talking to a friend of mine today. He was 59 and he's a manager. He said, oh, Jerry, he said, I can't take the early, I need a little bit more time. And I know
right, I agree. Yeah. But and you know what? The saddest thing is when I'll go to like a convenience store, any convenience store, and the only job the older person can actually do is the manual labor part.
Yeah.
And they're not computer savvy, and they don't want no interest in computers for the most part.
It's frustrating for
And
'em.
so, right. And
Yeah.
so, because of which, that causes them to be super limited in a world where everything is technology based or becoming technology based
Yeah.
one way or another. They've kind of indirectly X'd out the baby boomer generation with that. They took their manual labor, their hard working, dedication to the job for some odd years, with hopes of growing up in management, and now all of a sudden the person's burnt out. They have nothing to show for it because they made enough money just to get by.
Yeah. Yep. And that's where we are right now. And basically that's what Jennifer been selling so hard to people, that they can just take a simple skill set of being someone that can teach, whether you're teaching someone how to draw, how to paint with watercolor. So one woman made $10,000 for selling her video distribution to this guy for learning how to play the guitar. She taught herself how to play the guitar, and she wrote a book about it. And it did so well on Amazon that a book distributor pulled her up and wrote her a fat check. Yep. So you just never know what you can do, and what you're going to be able to do is sellable. So basically what Jennifer is doing is trying to get people to look at this company, because the company took the hard part out. Now, a lot of us already did the hard part. You was forced to learn Zoom. In order to talk to grandma or your kids, whatever, you had to learn Zoom. Can't get no simpler than that. Yeah, Zoom even telling you forget to hit recording. It'll tell you. So it's so simple now. So basically, this program does everything for you. It promotes on Facebook. It sends out reminders to your attendees. And all you got to do is just say how much you want to pay. I mean, you want the people to pay for your class, and you sit there and you teach. And you even have an option to record the class. So what I'm saying is, there's technology out there now becoming a little bit more user-friendly on the back end, so that baby boomers who are in their homes, they're paid for homes. In some cases, if you live in a bad neighborhood, that's your protection. You can make money from your home. A lot of people got cell phones now, tablets, laptops. That's the way you can stream some income. How many times we heard it? People making money while they sleep.
Yeah, you want that residual income there. That's one of the best things.
That's
making the money while you sleep, knowing that it'll be a continual flow.
That's right.
It's such a rewarding feeling, especially when you may have had the mindset that a regular job is what it took. When I hear about people working 2 and 3 jobs, like for other people, to meet other people's goals, it sickens me. It's like, if you can take 16 plus hours out of your day to designate for another person to reach their goals, you could have invested those 8 hours into yourself.
That's right. But I think COVID quieted the world enough that people can sit down and look at their situation a little closer. Remember, some of those second and third jobs weren't open. So you had a chance to think about your situation. And then when Clubhouse came along at the right time, and you have people in there teaching their skill sets, their mindset, they teaching you how to transform, how to block negativity. And that's another thing that's been blocking people for so long. I'll never forget this when a friend of mine, he's in a known gang, right? And he said people don't realize that they watch television so much that those gangs have changed so much. He said those guys own car washes and strip malls and record labels and clothing lines and movie theaters. He said they're not the same gangs that we know from watching Boys in the Hood.
good.
Yeah, and I was amazed because he was actually their bookie. He used to keep the books, so he knew what they made. I was like, get out of here. He said, right, they not drug smuggling, gunslinging dudes no more. He said, that's what Hollywood wants you to know in the media. All them other dudes, he said, they just stick-up boys, man. They just poor kids trying to put food on that table. A lot of them. They not making no money selling the person. How much money? How many pills can you sell for $1?
I have no idea how that works.
You make $100, you gotta sell 100 pills. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if you add up the math, it just don't add up right.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's because people watch too much TV. Now, because it's all this African told me this long time ago. He said everything is math. It's mathematics. I was like, get out of here. He said everything. He said that's what energy is. Energy is just nothing but numbers. Everything is measurable. Your DNA, your RNA, all that stuff is measurable. They use calculations to figure out everything. So it's all about the numbers. So with all that said, Callie, so what I'm saying is people really have to sit back and think about it. And Jennifer's been beating these people. She even have it so that if you go to her boot camp, you pay $27 and then you pay another $27 for all access to everything she knows about how to set up your school. But this is just to help you get through the application process, because she was saying that not all countries have background checks set up for the companies, because you have to have a background check before you be able to, teach children. And so
you must.
Yeah. So she was just saying there's only 5 countries that this company works with, but meanwhile you can set up a business account and start teaching. And it's also companies or some Asian companies overseas. I heard that people wake up certain times of the day to teach English to Asian and kids, for corporations and homeschoolers and stuff, because that's the big thing. And then the guy came on and said something that made real big sense. He said, now that we have all this U.S. terrorism, where domestic terrorism, where people are going into our elementary school, they're not going into the high schools.
They used to. They shooting up the little school.
Well, they don't go in the high school because the kids packing. Nobody firing back at them. But they go into the elementary school because they ain't no little kid carrying up maybe a water gun, and the teacher probably took that from them. So that's the thing that's so jacked up. So now what's going to happen? Parents are going to be frightened now because this happened. It can just happen anywhere. And
you're right.
People are going to be saying, wait a minute. My job is offering 100% telework. If you have an episodic reason, and you can keep your kid home and do homeschool program, because all you're trying to do is get your kid to pass the GED so you can go to college. That's where everything's learned. Yeah. That's where everything learned is in college. So
you're right about that.
So with all that said, companies now are going to be seeking these highly qualified people to do these mediocre jobs, but they'll be able to do 3-4 of them in their own home. Because they're home. They can still watch Netflix and Hulu while they work. And then people are so productive because they're happy. Let's imagine on your lunchtime, you can take a nap in your theater seat or your soft leather recliner versus sitting at your desk in your cubicle trying to get a nap in. And eating carbs all day. When you're home now, you can cook your food in a air fryer, come out fresh. Man, I be having fresh salmon, lobster tails, and lobster ball, crab cakes, flounder. I can run in the market and get it fresh and be back in time to throw it in the air fryer. That's what people. That's what the world we living in. That's why the market don't have that much food there, because people are going to the markets now and buying fresh food.
We are buying fresh foods. Because
we was eating out of the snack machines before. Look at our nurses. I've never seen so many nurses out of shape. I know when I said, oh, she is fine. I never had a nurse like that before. So it's because they eat out of the snack machines. But guess what now? The hospitals are putting in these phenomenal cafeterias now, where my wife said the other day, she said, we should go to Northwest Hospital and have dinner. That food is so good. I was like, that was the best fried shrimp I've ever had was at Northwest Hospital. Nobody has beat them out yet. Nobody.
Are you showing off now?
Oh, Northwest Hospital's the bomb. It was because my father-in-law had to stay there, before he left us. He had to stay there for a while. And because we was there with him, after work, we had to have dinner there. And they had a phenomenal menu. It was like, wow.
I'm glad it was enjoyable.
Oh, the dessert.
Right.
The dessert was off the chain.
You so crazy.
Oh, yeah. And then my daughter works for the University of Maryland, Shock Trauma. She said they got a phenomenal cafeteria, too. She said she going broke and she haven't got her first paycheck yet. She said, because they got Starbucks and all that stuff. Yeah, drinking $10 coffee and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. They saw her coming.
No, but that's what Starbucks jacked the price like everybody else did.
Exactly.
You spending $10 for, I went to Qdoba today and I bought 3 meals.
Ooh.
I went to 3 meals, right? I bought a quesadilla, chicken quesadilla for my son. I bought a Impossible vegetarian thing for myself, and I got my wife 2 tacos. They came to $34. We didn't get drinks.
Sound like Shake Shack.
Man. And then Cookout is like that too. He was like, wait a minute, $50 when he bought hamburgers. What is happening, Kelly? Everybody's just jacking stuff up.
Because they can.
Yeah, and because they know people at home and they were saving on gas. So they said, they got extra $400 we're going to go get.
Shit.
Yeah, you got 2 cars that's driving, commuting every day. You spending like $50. That's $100 a week for both cars.
Listen,
that's $400.
I know what car to drive, and I know which one not to drive.
Yeah, that's right. One only goes to the store, and the other one can drive me to the Bay Bridge.
There you go, right? So we do what works for us. But shout outs to all the people that put on their big person pants and came out during COVID and made something else of themselves and conjured up an income to help them and their family. And maybe we might even have those that transition from work to business. When it's your business, it's not work, it's growth.
That's
Amen.
right. Amen. And Think and Grow Rich, y'all. And basically, that was our topic today, the Think and Grow Rich. And I'm not going to say it's the black choice, but it's the choice. The world has changed. Now we have these crazy gun violence now. People, if you have a child that's unstable, get them help. You don't have to go to those $300 per hour psychiatrists. Call your health plan. They have something called employees program.
Employee Assistance Program, EAP.
That's right, EAP.
Tap into your EAP.
Yep,
they are so helpful.
That's right. They got doctorates and masters and stuff. They just as qualified, and your insurance companies have it too. Or if you don't have insurance, check out your nearby community medical center. They have a mental health therapist at those places as well. Get your children help. It's
okay to say no and to take a mental health day for oneself. And that doesn't have to be anything surrounding doctors, or it could be, and that's completely up to you. But it's just a time for you to just turn off everything, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy yourself for once without the distraction.
And be careful out there at the pumps, y'all.
Rewarding.
Be careful at the pumps. Watch your back at the pumps.
Oh my gosh, people getting jacked at the pumps for gas.
That's right. Watch your back. Take a riding partner with you. Especially if they got a license to carry or conceal.
Carry and conceal. Conceal and carry.
Yeah, if you got a buddy that's off duty, take him with you to the pump, ladies.
Don't it seem like they all over the place? Crime goes down. There was an off-duty officer.
Yep.
It's on purpose.
I know.
But anyway.
But you know what's interesting though? We're about to close out. It's funny how now that we have all these EV cars coming out and the price is going to be low for some of them. Now SUVs can get 35 miles per gallon.
Oh, when did that happen? I thought it was 13.
Man, I told you I had an expedition last week.
Oh yeah, you did.
And that thing almost brought me back. Almost brought me back from a round trip from North Carolina on the same tank. Thing had 10 gears in it. So y'all, they was running the Flim Flam ones all these years. I knew it.
you knew it.
They were running the Flim Flam ones. I was driving. I had like a short lease on a Dodge Charger, and I rode the thing all the way to Eastern Shore and back, and it only burned a quarter of a tank.
I know you was happy.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, this car was a V8 Hemi. It's made for drag. Made for drag racing, and they only burned a quarter tank of a gas going all the way to Eastern Shore. I went over, I think I did like 200 miles or something all that day, weekend. I don't know. I just say it was a big flim flam with the car company all those years. Now that the electric company, the electric car, people don't realize it's over 100 companies that make electric cars.
Oh,
over 100.
I mean, had no idea.
Right, it's not just the big GMs, the typical, Yeah, it's 100. Yeah, 100. So that means that those automakers are threatened now. They even got tractor trailers that do 300-400 miles on a battery. And look how much diesel fuel, almost $10 a gallon.
Well, I did see it hovering around 5 and some change.
Yeah. I'm talking about California.
Oh,
yeah, it's up there.
Yeah,
so I'm just saying, those guys are going to be trading those leases in for electric trucks soon. Because a lot of them lease those trucks anyway. They don't buy them.
Well, some do.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be worth the lease, because they offer really good incentives because the only thing you really pay for is the battery. Yeah, it's a weird deal.
Think
yeah,
about it like that.
Yeah, you got to check it out on YouTube when it comes to these, even companies. If you buy an electric truck for your company, like your construction company, and you lease it, I think they were actually, it's something kind of really crazy deal they do with you with the batteries. It's crazy.
Like the solar panels.
Yeah, I forgot what the deal is.
In 10 years, you can own these, even though we're putting it on your house.
I said,
how about I just buy my own?
What about they just make them small and you stick it in your yard?
How about they just give it to us? Exactly.
Hey, did you see that solar panel farm out in Woodstock, Maryland?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge,
I wonder what
yeah.
they're charging.
But they can funnel
They charging up.
Yeah, I think they pipe the energy.
I got 2 minutes left on the CP.
All right, go ahead and pray. All right, go ahead and pray us out. We got 2 minutes. Pray us out.
Okay. Peavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the gathering, and we thank you for the listeners. Please continue to watch over us and keep us in perfect peace. Please, oh Lord, give us the incentive, give us the initiative, give us the drive, the resources, and the wherewithal that we can make something greater of ourselves, regardless of what it is. Put that entrepreneurial spirit in those that are ready to handle the job. Lord, please continue to bless us and keep us. Times is getting uncertain. We don't know what the government is doing, but we ask that you continue to bless us and keep us. Thank you, Lord God, for this program. Thank you, Lord God, for our listeners. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, everybody, you stay safe out there and make the right choice. I'm Batman. Jerry was live worldwide of Charm City. Take care, everybody.
Tap back into your unspeakable joy.
Have a
good night, everybody.
Have a good holiday, everybody. And don't forget about our fallen soldiers. Amen.
Amen.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of Double X.
Positive Power 21.org. Internet radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
Hello, people. Greetings all the way from the motherland, Lagos, Nigeria, Africa. This your homeboy, Popular the Generous. Send a shout out to all you all with the love of Christ. I listen always to the Jerry Royce show, and I advise you to do the same. The best place to be. Hallelujah day. God love you, and I love you too. Boom!
This is Dr. Eric Holmes. 3 John 1 and 2 says, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prosper. I am a multi-award winning and best-selling book author, and you can find my books on all digital outlets, and you're listening to Positive Power XXI Original Podcast. Can you feel the power?
Hello, my name is C, and I am a recording artist from Rwanda in Africa. You're listening to the best internet radio station in the USA with Jerry Royce Live and Positive Power 21.
This is Paula G. Boyce, aka Lady Wisdom with Endurance. The unimaginable happens